fan noise from the coronavirus.
Let Bob Menery do the broadcast, and I'll tune in for that.
Maybe they can just pipe in, the fan noise from coronavirus death camps.
Hey, man, I don't know. It's pretty freaky shit. But hopefully, I don't think it's as crazy as... I mean, look, my personal opinion, I think this shit's going to come and go. I hope. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but
happened to the bird flu?
Yeah, exactly. Bird flu, all kinds. I mean, people freak out. It's new, and people don't know how to treat it yet. And
I don't know. The freakiest thing I saw, I think it may have been on Facebook or on Twitter or something. A guy was selling 5 small bottles of Purell for $125.
It's fucking crazy.
Like little station.
If I see zombies like by my local po' boy shop, eating brains and shit, that's when I start to worry. You know what I'm saying? To that point, when it turns into zombie land, then I'll be scared. Right? I ain't getting
scared. But y'all need to be cautious because even though it's not taking
don't go licking the fucking bus stop pole.
Even though it might not be taking healthy people, you can come in contact with somebody that is. That could be affected by, in a deadly way.
Don't have close relations if somebody looks like they're sick as fuck, basically.
You don't know it. It incubates for a month. You don't even know.
Yeah, you did a lot of homework on this shit. Well, look, let's go to this, man. Pels, talk about big 3 games back in Memphis. Pels play Wednesday night next game. Let's talk a little Saints football. Let's talk a little NFL real quick. Big news out of Dallas. Dak Prescott's about to get paid. $105 million guaranteed. Is that correct? Is that what I read on there?
I think they said that's what he was offered in the first place. So he may be holding out for more still.
$33 million a year. Do you think Dak Prescott's worth it?
I think he's gonna get tagged. I think they're gonna sign him already, and they're gonna tag.
But what is Dak Prescott if he turns down $33 million a year? What the fuck's wrong with him? But here's my thing. There's already there's talk originating now that Pat Mahomes could be the first $40 million guy in the NFL, and he probably will be. But Pat Mahomes and Dak Prescott ain't in the same motherfucking paragraph. I'm sorry. Pat Mahomes is night difference. Dak Prescott can't hold Pat Mahomes nuts.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry. No way, shape, or form.
Everybody's trying to get that contract. Look at Derek Carr. He was the high paid quarterback for a song.
You got to play the game, absolutely. You got to. Your agent has to do their job. No, your agent has to go out and try to get his client the most money. I get that. I respect that. But to me, Dallas, okay, we talked about this earlier, all right, before the podcast. You're going to lose Byron Jones, your best defensive back. Their defensive backfield sucks as it is.
They're going to lose Byron Jones because they gave that linebacker all that money, and then he fucking fell flat on his face.
Sean Lee.
No.
Oh, which one? Which one you talking about? Jaylen Brown?
Jaylen.
He's a good player, though. He's a good player.
They gave him a lot of money.
Well, they gave him a lot of fucking money. But the problem is, too, you can have Leighton Vander Esch as well soon, too, to pay.
All of those inside linebackers.
Well, you can't. You can't. You got to distribute that shit. That's why the Patriots were always so good. They knew where they could kind of cut some corners at. The problem with Dallas is, and I the first guy I wouldn't re-sign, I know you disagree with me on that, because I don't think he's that. I think he's the most overrated receiver in the league is Amari Cooper. I think Gallup's the most gifted receiver in that team. If Dak is as good as what advertised, if he's worth $35 million freaking dollars,
Gallup's a good second receiver.
But Gallup could evolve into a first. He's more talented than Cooper, in my opinion, and that's anybody.
He's more of a
he's lengthy.
Play,
he's fast.
Cooper's the one that's getting open for the first downs and keeping the ball.
He is, but who's to say Gallup can't become that guy? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he can or he can't, but to me, I'm looking for a more economical option.
The problem is they paid back all the money.
Well, you got to keep. That's the face of the franchise.
And not even running that type of.
But to me, he's the face of the franchise.
You can draft another guy and he'll be your face of your franchise.
Yeah, but Zeke right now is the face of the Dallas Cowboys.
And you're not going to be paying him.
It's not Dak Prescott.
An exorbitant amount of money at a position that's proven to fail when you give those guys big money.
Yeah, but he performed. He performed last year. He had a good season. I'm just saying, to me,
anybody's gonna perform behind that line. Behind quarterback, anybody's gonna put up.
I think Zeke's numbers. The truth. I think it's the truth. I mean, Dak's a running quarterback, but look, I mean, when he threw the ball this year,
was the truth.
Let me ask you this:
David Johnson was the truth.
But let's go. Look at his numbers. Look at Prescott's numbers. Throwing the ball less in 2018. Excuse me. Throwing the ball less in 2018. Throwing the ball considerably more in 2018. You make the playoffs in 2018. You miss the playoffs in 2019. I know there's other things that happen, but I'm just saying.
Top 5 defense. I think that comes down to coaching when you can't make the
I'm not saying that.
With those kind of numbers.
To me, they're the most overrated. Defense. They're one of the most overrated teams in the league. Because guess what? You get to play fucking 2 of the worst teams in the league 4 times a year. You get to play fucking Redskins and the Giants. So that's your fucking wins right there. I don't care rivalry game. That's all bullshit. Those teams are dog shit.
A ton of talent. There's just something wrong with.
No, they're talented, but I'm saying
I think it starts at the top.
But you're about to fuck this thing up repeatedly for years because you cannot give Dak this money After you already invested into Zeke, and then you pay Amari Cooper, you're going to turn into the Rams. The Rams have no way of making their team better. They're trying to find ways to dump Todd Gurley, Brandon Cooks. They're trying to get rid of all these contracts because you have no first-round picks either because of Jalen Ramsey.
I don't know if you agree with me.
Cowboys going down the same road.
Dak's in a different level than Goff. Goff's one of the most
I don't think they're that far apart, man. I don't think they're that far. They're in the same boat to me. I think Dak's a little better. No, Dak has the mobility. Dak's mobility makes him a better player.
A statue that's being held up by the play calling of.
I don't know. Goff's got a little. He's got a little mobility. He's got a little mobility to his game. He can roll out. He's got the little rollout game on him, and he goes, downfield. But I mean, he's not as mobile as Dak, no doubt about it. I just don't think Dak's a top 10 quarterback, and I wouldn't pay a non-top 10 quarterback $35 million a year. That's just my opinion.
I think he's right on the precipice.
I think Ryan Tannehill's in the same boat.
That's what guys are making. And Ryan Tannehill doesn't have that track record.
I don't know. He balled out this year. His one team was a quarter away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because of the team that's surrounding him.
Yeah, but Zeke and Derrick Henry cross each other out. The defenses are maybe Tennessee has a slightly better defense because of the back end. I mean, but Dallas's front seven is just as good. The offensive lines are pretty fucking close. The receiving core. I could easily see that team I would give Dallas the edge of receiving core.
I could easily see that team going backwards this year.
I don't think they go backwards at all. If they go away from Ryan Tannehill, they will. If they keep Tannehill in house, I think that team's the best team in AFC South by a wide margin.
I think by next year we're talking about Tannehill as another Derek Carr.
But he got out of a system. He went to a better place. Adam Gase is death for a quarterback. I mean, look at Sam Darnold. He looked like shit this year. I'm just saying.
Tannehill, he needs to show me more of a track record before I pay that guy.
But a lot of quarterbacks have done it. Rich Gannon, it took him many years to find home. He did with, the Raiders. He made it for himself over there late in his career and was a guy that was a bloomer in his late 30s into his 40s.
They get that guy $1 million. They overrule.
No, I'm not saying give Ryan Tannehill. I'm saying this. I would take Tannehill at $20 million or Teddy Bridgewater at $20 million before I give Dak $35.
3/4 of a season.
Because you got to be. I know people say, "Oh, it's a quarterback," but look what that shit didn't work out for Minnesota.
Awesome offensive line.
No. Here's my thing, though. But check it out.
An identity.
Would you take Dak at 35 or Teddy or Tannehill at 20? To me, it's a no-brainer. It's not even close. I think the other two guys are that close, saving $15 million. I can invest that $15 million into two really good fucking players.
I don't think they're gonna. I think Tannehill's gonna ask for more than that.
I don't think more than $20 million. He's got to know his role. He did have a rough start to his career. He did play great, but to me, he knows he found a home in Tennessee.
Quarterbacks making about $20 million.
Yeah, but $20 million to me is where
that's a lot of bottom 10.
If I go to Ryan Tannehill 4 years in, I know signing bonuses, all that shit I'm going to play, but I'm saying that if that is the general cap number, $20 million or so to $25 million maybe, I could live with that before paying Dak $35. I'm just saying, Dak at 35 is going to crush that fucking team future.
It's going to be close to the 25, and at 25 to 35, take Dak.
Yeah, but I don't believe that Bridgewater's going to get 25 to 30. I think people are talking crazy, and I like Teddy, but Teddy's a 20 to 22 million. Teddy hasn't
the same thing as Tannehill, though. He has a 5-game track record of success.
He does, but I mean, he did have that year with the Vikings.
Where he was not the driving force behind all those wins.
I'll say this: to me, they're both.
I mean, if the Bears giving out that contract, yeah, he might get $30 million.
I'll say this. I like Tannehill and I like Bridgewater. I think they can work and win for a team like the Bears, like the Titans, a team that's set up that way. I think the Cowboys need to go back to that power style and stop thinking that you're the fucking, Saints of Drew Brees and Tom Brady Patriots where you throw the ball all over the field. Because that throwing the ball all over the field did not translate into wins.
The disgusting thing is that the Bears are going to go with, who are they going to go with?
Dalton. I mean, I'm hearing it, man. Is it legit?
I think it's legit.
But you got to see these rumors are going crazy. Look at the Rivers Colts thing. Everybody was on that 2-3 weeks ago, and that never made any sense to me at all. I mean, Rivers to me, the best fit for Rivers to me is Tampa.
The reason why it makes sense is I think he can get traded to the Bears, and then he could take some kind of pay cut, and then make the numbers work. But if you bring Bridgewater and you give him $20 million, you write at the number. Now you don't have as much wiggle room to make other things happen.
Well, that's the problem. The cap, and to me, that's what's going to happen with Prescott. Prescott's going to fuck their cap situation so bad.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying, you can't get better unless you hit every pick in the draft or most picks in the draft. I mean,
they
don't have
about Jerry Jones here.
But to me, okay, if Dallas was stout at every level of the field, you don't have a tight end, you don't have a secondary is one of the worst in the league, especially minus Byron Jones. To me, the defensive line, they under big time. I think there's a little bit of questions up front. I love their linebackers. I love their offensive line. I love Zeke. I think the receivers are good but not great. But this team is not. This ain't the fucking Saints roster. This ain't the fucking Chiefs roster. This is not there's better teams out there. This is not a top 5 roster to me. The Dallas Cowboys.
This team needs to be coached up, and I'm not sure if Mike McCarthy can do it.
I think he's an upgrade over Garrett for sure. Garrett's terrible. I mean, McCarthy did have a Super Bowl
holes in their roster, and they're going to continue to have holes in their roster because they're not going to be able to pay those second line guys in the depth. That's the problem with this team. They have
teams
a pretty
are so
good starting lineup.
Yeah,
secondary is going to be in shambles, but they have a pretty good starting lineup. They got a lot of guys that could go out in a free agent market and make a lot of money because a lot of people would like those players. But they don't have the second line guys. They don't have the depth.
They don't.
In a long
and there's nowhere to get
16-game season, when those second string guys come in, that's when you're going to see the war of attrition. You're going to start to see this team go in the tank.
Yeah, especially if you invest that heavily in Amari Cooper as well. I just don't think, to me, if you're going to go with Dak, if you're just that sold on Dak, Dak's a great dude. He seems like a great leader. Mm-hmm. I think he's a good quarterback, not a great quarterback. To me, he's in that 11 through 15 area. Out of all 32 quarterbacks. That's my personal opinion.
Right at 10 for me.
And that's fine. I can get that. I understand that. I don't think you can give Cooper that kind of money. To me, look, the situation with Brandon Cooks right now.
Cooper's the guy that
I like Cook. I think Cooks is
played at a different level since he's gotten into the building.
I know, but do you say if he's that good of a quarterback, if you're going to put $35 million to a quarterback, he better make Michael Gallup in a lesser version of Cooper.
But Dak is a guy that has to see it and throw it. He's not an anticipation thrower.
But I mean, I just don't. I don't know, man.
Maybe
Cooper,
you don't want to give 35
can you invest that highly into
Cooper?
Thrower. That's what I'm saying. He's not Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas. There's only a few players that should make that kind of money. Look at OBJ. Look at all the money went to OBJ. I know everybody's gonna hate it and say, "Oh, OBJ's a superstar." He's not. He hasn't produced like a superstar last couple of years. I mean, he cries a lot. He's inconsistent. He disappears in certain matchups, and we blame Baker Mayfield for that. But yet Jarvis Henry balled out better than what he did this
Honestly,
year.
A lot of things went wrong for that team.
They did. I'm not saying Beckham's not a talented guy.
The coaching staff was in shambles, and everybody got fired.
If we're talking sheer talent, Beckham's a top 5 talent at his position, but he's not a top 5 receiver. Talent and putting it on the field and getting it done, to me, are two separate things. Because let's be real. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins and Michael Thomas don't have the talent of A.J. Green maybe in his prime.
But
or
Jarvis Landry is a guy that
OBJ.
Puts up a lot of numbers when you got a shit team because you got a quarterback looking for his first option 2 yards
But
downfield.
That was the Dolphins. But, I mean, I saw a little bit different game.
That happened last year, too.
Well, I mean, as long as you're moving the chains, look.
Well, they weren't moving the chains.
The problem with them, why they get in trouble.
2 yards at a time.
No, but the team, it ain't so much. No, but Jarvis, his numbers were a little bit better. I think you'd be surprised. I think this was one of his better yards per catch seasons, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, check it out just to be sure. But I'm going to say this. The problem with that Cleveland team, to me, started offensive line. Mayfield, too many sacks. The run game was great at times, and then at times when they needed it, they couldn't get it. The defense had holes all over it. They have good pieces, but they have holes. I think coaching was a big thing, just like Dallas. I think Cleveland and Dallas are pretty talented teams. They're not like elite talents, but they're pretty talented teams. But Kitchens was a fucking moron, just like Jason Garrett, But, I mean, let's see, where was he? I think he had a pretty good year last year, Landry. I think his stats were one of his best seasons, man. I think he actually had a little higher yards per reception.
Whoa, that's like the best season of his
that's
life.
what I'm saying. I think he
Look at that.
What he ended up with?
1,174 yards, 6 TDs.
He wasn't bad when I watched him play. I mean, that's what I'm saying. But they got bigger. I like Jarvis Landry. What I'm saying is Beckham should never got paid that amount. I mean, you had to, I guess. But to me, Dallas has an option right now. The Giants didn't have a choice maybe at the time. Dallas has options. You look around. Zeke could center your offense. If Dak's worth $35 million, he should be able to make anybody work. He should be able to make Gallup and a fucking veteran receiver that gets cut, or a rookie. Why not? It is a rich-ass rookie class. Dak's still a young dude. Why not bring Gallup in a Henry Ruggs with Zeke? Save all that money for Cooper. Invest it into Leighton Vander Esch 2 years from now, who's got a chance to be one of the best linebackers in the league. You're going to spend this money on Cooper. You're going to allow another good player to walk in 2 years. Look at the Vikings. Kirk Cousins. They put all that money into Cousins. They got nowhere with it. Then they're going to end up losing all these players this offseason.
If you could call Jerry Jones and talk sense into him, maybe that does make sense. But what he's actually going to do...
Oh, he's going to pay Cooper. Absolutely.
He's going to go with the fucking status quo, and he's going to get rid of people that fans don't notice. The cornerback that doesn't have any interceptions.
Right.
But is one of the top 6
Yeah,
or 7 guys
that's a good point.
League.
2 interceptions in his career. The average fan might not think anything of that.
Well, a guy,
but he's a great cover. He's a great cover.
A guy that makes it tough on other receivers. That's why they play corner.
You don't want
you catch the ball.
Just a great corner doesn't have to have 7 interceptions. Knowles used to always think that for some mysterious reason.
6 interception, 5 interception guys are guys that take a lot of chances.
Absolutely.
And the guys that get burned all the time. Nobody notices those guys get burned.
Absolutely.
Because they're like, oh man, that was a badass touchdown, but they didn't notice the guy, cheating. Looking inside when he did the up and out, give and go.
Exhibit A.
Ladder play.
It's not a corner, but it's a safety. That's where interceptions can be deceiving. Chris was so excited when Houston got Tashawn Gibson. Said, "Oh, that guy had like 8 picks the previous year. I ain't worried about losing Tyrann Mathieu." How did that work out? You know what I'm saying? Tyrann Mathieu might have had 8 picks a year, but guess